So we could take over the panel. We can cut off Kyle and then, yeah.
Wall in place.
We have a draft ahead of us as well. Let's see if Gambit can come up with a different strategy, different plan. I actually really did like Vampire's Rubik. We heard Skeeter say that he thinks is the best Rubik at the moment in the world.
To be fair, though, Skeeter is excessively positive.
Okay. Well, you also just lost to the Rubik of XS Vampire,
Yeah.
so he would then credit a little bit higher because of that as well.
Yeah, it's like, this guy's better than FY.
Yeah.
This guy's better than all these other legends.
Whoa! That went real fast. We do have another
Yeah.
Rubik by XS Vampire, so there's that. We have a Centaur coming out for most likely Shackle. Virtus.pro goes for the Enchanters again, which we can only imagine is going to be Solo's hero once more. And in advance, there's not really been any big changes.
Yeah, I like the Rubik. I like the Centaur. My only concern is you're sort of playing into VP's hands.
Why do you like the Centaur? I'm not sold on this being a first 2 hero.
I mean, that would be the issue I'd have. I would have much preferred a Rubik plus open core. I feel like when you open with a hero that's locked into its role, it's very your draft already looks weak because you already know that, okay, that's the 3 and 4. This Enchantress, sure, it could be solo. That could be a 3 as well. And it's something that if you watch these top teams, notably OG, they always open with these open cores unless there's something they think is just so broken, such as the Wisp. They'll just pick it immediately.
Yeah. And that's why I'm not a big fan of Gambit's draft, because like you say, you're just giving away one of your lanes from the get-go. There's no, and it makes banning in that next stage so much easier because there's no question marks about, oh, is this Bat Rider going to be a support or a core? Is this, where's this other hero going? It's very clearly laid out what Gambit is going to do. And then you know exactly what kind of cores Dream likes to play. You know the 5 positions that FNG likes to play. It's very telegraphed.
Yeah, and it's surprising how the game has changed so much. Like now you've just got Earthshakers being picked into Rubik. This is the relationship to watch already, to tell you, because the Fissure, now that Rubik's spells deal bonus damage and have bonus duration, if you get that Fissure, it's like 2.6348 seconds. That is quite a stun.
And the downside of a Shaker Fissure is normally that, he has that whole cast point where he lays on the Fissure. Rubik does not have that. He's just boom.
True.
He's the best
No,
wizard
it's not.
of them
You
all.
did it too slow, Sheaves. Boom! Like it already happened. Before,
it already happened. There you go.
It's like
so fast.
it's like the what's it
It's going to
called?
be a good...
The thing, the poison they went to hunt the T-Rex with in second Jurassic Park.
Okay.
Like in theory, it would have worked. Like remember the scene where like they're getting the guy in the Jeep? Sorry.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. And it's stuck in the net, and it's a poison that it hits you. Since it works faster than you can think, you don't even realize it, and then you're gone.
All right, Rubik. No
that
cast
lived up to
points
my
on abilities that Rubik gets. That's the bottom line, aka better Fissure than Shaker's Fissure. Aka interesting to pick because that is one of the best things to steal. Like Rubik is gonna already have a great game. Ancient Apparition coming out there as well. That's probably gonna be the position 5. That being said, I do think Shaker can have a lot more impact in the first 10 minutes of the game compared to Rubik, right? That's why you pick it.
I love this Beastmaster pick. It is right on brand. You look at AA Centaur Rubik, the big flaw, they really can't deal with creeps quite well. And the supports are so squishy, and they can't clear creep waves. So you're just going to run at them with this Beastmaster. And you pick something else that can go in. I'd love to see a BKB hero, or built-in BKB, or something like an Ember Spirit. You just jump these supports.
10 seconds.
Way back when AA was really popular as a 5, everyone would just pick Nature's Prophet against it. You just bully him in lane. I feel like
5 seconds
Beastmaster,
remaining.
similar idea. You have the Boars. We've seen a lot of these 3-position Beastmasters get Orb of Venom on top of that. You kill the AA anytime you get that slow on him.
And I've played both ends of that matchup. Beastmaster wins. In addition, you've got an Ench Shaker, which are my favorite sort of supports to play around, because as a Beastmaster, it's not like the past, if you remember people just dual laning off with like Dazzle BM. You want Beastmaster to get bonus experience, and he's self-sufficient, so you want these supports that play around him, but don't have to stand there. So they can go roam, they can play enemy jungle as a Shaker, and you're keeping him protected and also threatening mid, and this is how you want to play with him.
This is the first time these teams are actually taking a breather this draft. I feel like this draft has been going super fast. Like I normally write everything down. I'm not able to keep up at this point because the draft is so fast. Why is this point in the draft, why is this 4th pick for Gambit so important?
This is your game. These first 3 heroes are easy. They're like, I want Rubik. All right, you want Centaur? Okay, the opener's canned, and FNG's picking his AA because that's what he thinks is best for the game. But this is what defines your lineup. Plus, VP have 2 answers coming. You got to think about what are they going to be picking up here to synergize with the Beast. You're very exposed right now if you misstep as Gambit. If you look at this lineup right now, a Medusa just destroys them as an example. But at the same time, perhaps they're susceptible to, say, like a Life Stealer Ember. So, and those are completely different hero concepts. So you're trying to prep for both scenarios and make sure you don't get trapped.
Yeah. Now, we obviously don't know our mid matchup yet. I figure that Virtus.pro is the one that is going to be able to get... Virtus.pro is the one getting not last pick, as in Gambit gets last pick. Gods, you said before the series that you were going to keep an eye out specifically for FN because he has impressed you thus far. What did you think about him previous game, and would you like to see him play Pango again, or what would you like to see him on?
I think Pango didn't fit the draft because they weren't going to win the game with the Life Stealer and the Pango mid. Void Spirit, though, I like him on these playmakers. Like, obviously, the Bat Rider was great. I think Pango is fine for him, but it didn't work because their hard carry was so hard cannoned by Razor.
Yep.
So if they're actually, it looks like, going to use their last pick of the draft for their safe lane carry, which is kind of unusual. Usually their mid lane, but I think that's fine because it means they guarantee, like, FN can be on that playmaking whatever hero because their safe lane carry is going to be able to win them the game.
Yeah.
Last game, that wasn't possible.
They feel like there's enough options still in the pool for Dream that they can warrant just picking.
A lot of carries have been banned, though.
They have.
We could see some unconventional carries come into play.
Life Stealer's still in the pool. And actually, this is one of the few games where Troll is ignored.
You don't want to play it into AA because you just get ice blasted in your ultimate and you die.
But unless you're on the same team as the AA.
Sure. It's a potential last pick. The relationship against Beastmaster is kind of weird, though, because you get that BKB piercing ultimate. At the same time, though, Troll lanes well against them. You can kill boars easily, and the miss chance is very good against the creep army.
Anti-mage.
Anti-mage gets picked.
Oh, God.
I'm not a fan of this series. This
terrible
seems
hero.
very weak, except for those, like, okay, it's a perfect AM game, and it's maybe, like, 10th pick, so they can't counterpick it.
Well,
they get to pick a carry that... There's a lot of carries that match up well against AM.
Yes.
And this is not exactly the perfect AM game.
Correct, but the thing is you don't have tools to win the game right now in Gambit. You've got to address this AM now, and you don't have tower push. So it's effectively just like the Centaur that's going to be leading the charge on towers. So you need something that matches up well, that also threatens structures and Roche.
Yeah.
Now,
go ahead, Chief.
Well, the draft that they had in the first game against Nigma yesterday had an Enchantress, it had a Shaker, it had an Anti-Mage, and as their mid, it had a Shadow Fiend.
Yeah.
There you go.
I really like this.
Same one. Apart from Timbersaw, it replaced by Beastmaster in this case.
I really like this draft personally because both their safe or their off laner and their mid laner benefit from the Shaker's presence. You can threaten both of those lanes, and they're just super strong heroes. And TB, that's your anti-mage counter, super hard counter to the Beastmaster, but to pick it into SF Shaker with no save, this is the concern I had because, yeah, sure, you can pick a matchup against the AM, but you had too many holes in the draft. So this anti-mage pick is like this now just gaping line that you've got to fix. You've got to address them, but now you just have a weaker draft.
And even this mid lane feels like a weak point because this SF versus Void Spirit matchup was the exact one we saw yesterday as well, I think, where Weeha's Void Spirit got dumpstered by an SF.
Yeah. Because it's the magic damage that's the true threat, not and the shields are non-effective.
And no one is like one of the top 3 SFs in the world.
Yes.
This guy is insane on this hero.
I had the misfortune of queuing into him a while back. I was a little rusty. He was on a Smurf, didn't know it was him. I played TA, counterpicked a Shadow Fiend. Yeah, I got absolutely rolled. That man is a beast on the SF.
He really is. We're going to see if he can deliver again. We saw him win twice with that Shadow Fiend yesterday. Can he do it against FN's Void Spirit? We're going to find out with Odie Pixel and Lizard.
Thank you very much, Shiva. Yeah, looking at this one, this draft, I got to be honest, Lizard, I'm really liking what VP's got once again. As the panel said, they've got 4 of the same heroes when they ran a similar draft the other day. They have some great straight-up counters. SF versus the Void Spirit should be an easy lane for no one. And even the anti-mage, I think they're going to get away with it. There's a lot of focus on sort of the magical effects to sort of kill him. Late game, they're not going to be able to touch him. It's going to be tough for Gambit, but I am excited because they are trying the Terrorblade, as Parker picked up upon. It is very good against AM, but this hero, it still has a lot of other issues, right? Terrorblade is not in a great place right now.
He's not in a great place, but what they're trying to do, what they're attempting to do at least, is just have the ball and play make all the time and set the tempo of the game. With Terribly, it does allow you to do that. It allows you to start pushing. But I have to completely agree with you. Owen was saying during the draft, we were sitting here, we were watching them. The moment Void Spirit was picked, he was like, why don't they go SF?
I mean,
and they did.
Like, you've got to imagine that Gambit knew the SF was coming, because there's no way, unless you just didn't watch yesterday's games, that you're like, well, we're going to pick Void Spirit. They're not going to pick SF. Of course they're going to pick SF. They're going to pick SF every single time that you sort of present a Void Spirit mid as your fourth pick.
They have multiple reasons why it's good. Not only does it crush a Void Spirit in the lane, not only that you can itemize in many different ways to complement your AAM and his power spikes, it's also that you're playing with this Shaker, you're playing with the Beastmaster, you have so many things that are going in your favor. You have, obviously, Beastmaster with the Aura that's going to benefit you, but also Shaker with any rotation, with that Fissure, can threaten Void Spirit. He is very elusive, but versus that SF, I have a feeling that FN is playing an unfavorable matchup once again.
We'll see what he can do with it. Obviously, we're sort of going very much... I mean, even sort of ignoring the No One versus Weehar game where the SF destroyed the Void Spirit, I still think overall the hero... no one is going to have a good lane against you. You've got to try and make it up by making the plays happen. Something that Weehar wasn't unable to do on the Void Spirit. Let's see if FN can do it in this game, as he's going to have to really step it up. He's not going to have an easy start to the match. So the potential of him coming out the laning stage with sort of those early items is pretty low. He's going to have to find them in the kills, or at least get some ganks coming in on the mid lane. He's got to look for sort of excess Vampire to come in, maybe set up with a telekinesis, and see if between that and the pull of the Remnant, they can burst no one down.
It's not going to be easy, but at the same time, Void Spirit is that sort of a hero that can just dominate after he gets that level 6, if he gets it fast enough. So if you're FN right now, it's kind of the same feeling like in that first game. Just get your level 6 as soon as possible and start making moves on the map.
We'll see. Kuman did opt to take the level 1 blink there to try and grab the bounty rune. Wasn't able to do so. Shashlo still picks it up, so I think Shashlo's going to be quite happy with that. Knows that he's not necessarily going to have his mana burn early on. I guess at the same time at level 1 he's not really going to be using that mana anyway, so we'll see sort of how this lane goes on and if Solo is able to make this sort of a safe space for Kuman. I feel against the two of these heroes, I mean, how do you sort of see this? Obviously, Shashlo, he can give him a good beating. If he steps up, pops to retaliate, he is going to punch that anti-mage pretty hard.
Yeah, I think this lane is much, much harder for VP than that first one with Morphling. I think this lane, Rubik and Centaur overall are just so strong. And then you're playing into an anti-mage who isn't truly that great in the lane. He never was a great laner. One lift into stun, into retaliate, he can drop very low. Maybe not kill potential. Maybe they don't have a lot of kill potential on the side of Gambit, but they definitely will threaten and excess Vampire here.
Oh, he's been chased by Solo. Solo's got enough impetus. It is. That's first blood for Solo. He was killing it last game, and he's killing it already this game. 1 minute in, first blood for the Edge.
All right, that's not something that should happen. That was a solo kill from the Enchantress.
Oh, and a good block off here. They'll be able to do quite a bit of damage to Dream. He's got to take that long walk round the Fissure. He's being slowed by the boar. They'll stay on top of them now, turn their attention towards FNG, but already we're seeing the threat of this dual lane. Zayas and Resolution getting aggressive very early on. He's going to have Fissure back up again in a second, but FNG and Dream will be able to get underneath the tower. Still, though, you're seeing, these heroes, they're going to be ready to run you down. This is not an easy lane for Dream to farm in.
That Fissure did break the creep wave in half, and because of that, Gambit does have 2 ways pushing in, but he's going to eat a lot of damage here because of that, actually. I thought that it might be good for him, but now he's on 50% again after using that salve.
And he just feels like an AA is how much can FNG do to sort of help Dream in this lane. It feels like, as Carl was saying on the panel, once the boars are up, Resolution's going to be just diving and running this poor old AA out of the lane.
Bottom lane, you can see them diving behind the tower a little bit, creep skipping, while the creeps are dying under the tower. So Kuman needs to get there immediately.
He's going to head over. Does miss a couple of them, but we'll be able to pick up the main ones and make sure that he's there back in time to secure the range creep. Mid lane matchup at the moment, 11 for 2, 11 for 1. I've got to say this is impressive stuff from FN. He's using the nukes very nicely, using that pulse to secure CS when he can, but he's got to be aware of these raises.
So far he has been, and 13-1, it's in even matchup so far. Yeah, he has 2 more denies, but FN has done exceptionally well in this second game. In that first one as well, he's playing versus a Razor, but he uses his swashbuckle well, and he finds CS. This game around, it seems like he's doing a very similar thing.
On top lane, I mean, this is the threat of the Beastmaster, just running them down. AA is gone. Dream is also going to take a severe beating from the two of them. This is not sort of a happy place to be. He's still managing to CS in that top lane, but his life's being threatened. Bottom, chase down onto Vampire, tries to back up to get that impetus damage distance, but it's not enough to kill him.
He's going to suicide. Or just run back, yeah. He's just going to run back.
Shashlo doing quite a bit of damage with the retaliate, but Kuman's able to keep it safe. The big creep wave's going to be coming in underneath his tower, so Kuman should be able to pick this one up quite nicely. Top lane, again getting aggressive. The Fissure blocking off Dream. Rezo's trying to chase him down. Dream's trying to run. One more hit will do it. Rezo this time finds the big one.
They kill the carry on the top lane. They might take down FNG if the blocks are good. And they also killed Centaur on that safe lane.
And the blocks, maybe with the Fairy Fire. No, Rezo, he's diving this one. He's definitely going for that double kill for Rezo.
You can really see that he understands what he needs to do on this lane. He bought an Orb of Venom, and because of that and the board slows, he's able to run these heroes down. Even though Dream has a lot of armor, he still can't sustain that amount of damage. But let's be real. Ancient plus Terrorblade.
He's come back into the lane. I mean, Rezo's just immediately going to start chasing him down again. He's going to need sort of all the regen in the world to help sustain himself against this aggression from VP. I mean, he may even be dead with Zayats. He's clarity up. Dream, he's blocked him off a little bit with the illusion, and that will actually be enough to keep him safe, but he's still being forced right away from the lane, or maybe it won't. The Hawk's out. Rezo's got the vision. Zayats can lay down the Fissure, and they are just bullying the hell out of this Terrorblade. Dream's trying to run, cut his way to safety. He will live, but VP, they're forcing him so far away from the lane.
Exactly. That's so much time wasted for Dream. He might have just as well been dead for this whole time. As he didn't approach the creep wave, he got 0 experience and 0 CS.
And look at where Rezo's standing. He's just making sure that Dream cannot get back towards the tower and soak up the XP from those creeps dying to it. FN's now starting to make the movements. A Remnant, it wasn't in an attempt to kill, it was just making sure that the bounty rune would be secured. And it will work in that sense. FN's able to bottle up the bounty rune, but definitely all eyes on FN. He's bottom lane, Kuman does have the salve, will blink out at the last minute. But yeah, FN, I really feel in this matchup, he's done well for what the matchup is. This is, as we've seen before, Void Spirit can get absolutely destroyed in this lane. He's kept it even, so he has had this start where he will be able to make moves and try and help out his team in these side lanes and look for action.
He just needs to get that level 7 as soon as possible so that he has that max out nuke and also his ulti so that he can perhaps threaten the AM or the top lane. Taking down that Beastmaster and alleviating that pain that's coming on the top lane could help out the Terrorblade quite a lot. The thing is, when you're playing Terrorblade versus Anti-Mage, you want Terrorblade to have a decent laning stage so that he can start pushing lanes. Yeah. But so far, that has not been the case.
They've got to do something about Noam, because this is the point where you really start to see the offset. 40-11 against 26 for 2. The gap's being created. This is not a gap that FN's going to be able to close just by laning against the SF. No one's going to be able to bully him out of the lane single-handedly right now. He needs support back up. Bottom lane, bit of a play being made onto Shashlo. His man has been burnt. He's trading back hits with the retaliate. Kuman does have to be a bit careful. One more hit, and he would have been dead, but Kuman pushes himself to the limits perfectly, allows the time for Solo to continue to beat down on that Centaur and kill him off once again.
That was all enabled by the Wildkin and the Tornado that was all over that Centaur. He wasn't really able to run back because it slows him so much. Anti-Mage baited him in for a couple of extra hits and they take down the kill. Such a perfect way to kill him. They've done that twice now. It's not only about understanding the hero and its mechanics, it's also about understanding the player that's on that hero and what he's about to do if he senses that he can kill you.
Zayats, he's going to get a smoke sent out, as we may be about to see Zayats start to get active, may look to head over, sort of help no one find a kill. You know, no one's very strong right now. Any sort of lockdown on his opponent in the mid lane if FN's still hanging around, which is for now. FN's still focusing around the mid lane. Does now start to shift towards top. Maybe sees if he can catch someone out, maybe potentially find one of the supports alone, but...
This ward should have scouted him. Yeah, the Radiant ward on those stairs, and now they back off instantly.
And this is, you know, time potentially wasted. FN's going to have trouble really getting a hold onto either of these heroes with themselves.
He has to go back
under the tower.
He has to go back mid because of no one. He's just pushing in.
Well, now Vampire was starting to come across to maybe help if something was going to be there from FN. They're a little scared of going on it because FN does actually stick around. He was TPing back to mid but cancelled it. But when he saw Excess Vampire being gone upon, we'll keep his Rubik safe, but still, and now he's got to walk back to mid, so it's even more painful really for FN.
It is, then again, if you're FNG, you might be satisfied with that time that you just got on the mid lane to get some solo experience. I think for Gambit, these two supports do a lot when they're ahead. And when you're behind, you need to create some space for them to get those level 6s, right? Your Rubik is level 3, minute 8. It's not great. He needs something more. Same goes for AA. AA comes online once he gets that level 6. So just giving them some more space, some more experience is a good thing.
See mid starting to play around with the Zenzor solo, leading in, see if he can catch out FN. FN will keep himself safe. Just trying to poke back at them, but you're seeing now at 8 minutes in, early on, the 3 cores of VP taking the lead. They've come out on top of these lanes. And quite like game 1, it's going to be hard for Gambit to pull off plays from behind. That's Kuman, of course, with the Ring of Health. And those Wraith bands now very much safe to be left alone. We saw there, Solo starting to move towards mid. He knows that this anti-mage against the center alone, he's fine to be left here. Kuman can continue to soak up the farm.
He knows that they can't take him down until that minute 10. Once that minute 10 comes, you will have a tome, you'll probably have AA with 6, and then perhaps anti-mage can die. Before that happens, you're just free to do whatever you want on that Enchantress. You can farm, you can zone, you can just stay in the jungle. Another thing that people like to forget about Ench is her second spell adds so much damage on that creep that you can just take one creep and send him in the woods and he can clear camps on his own. Look at that, 19 plus 30 damage. Yeah. If you take a big creep, that's a lot of it's easy to last it with them.
On top, Fishes out, still continue to just mess with them, making all the space in the world for no one to have a dream time as his SF just hovering around that mid lane, the neutral camps around it, continue to maximize his farming.
Forces the meta as well. They're just cleaning the necros up.
Now sort of again secure this bounty rune here. FN, well, I say secure, he doesn't want to step forward, he feels a little scared, lets it go. They lose themselves their AA, FNG will fall. As FN, he's got to back out, he should still have extra mobility, and he does. W's up, doesn't get him up to the high ground, but will get him far enough away to keep himself safe. But still, it's rough, right? You've got this Void Spirit, it's 10 minutes in, FN still hasn't been able to find any sort of impact anywhere on the map.
He found a bounty rune there, that's why he zipped in. He zips in, steals the bounty rune and just dissimulates away. So it's not really great, he's not finding a lot of things to do on the map, but that's not only because of him, it's because of these supports that were weak before. Now when AA is 6, perhaps Void Spirit can set up some things on the map.
Let's see what Gambit can do here. They smoke up, they've got to find something with this. They've got to find some sort of way of breaking down VP's strengths. No one in the mid lane. He's the focus. Zayats is going to be there to back him up behind. Fishes out as soon as they jump in. They're popping the Stampede. The Remnant will grab him back, but Zayats, he just walks in. He's set up perfectly for a 2-man slam. The Requiem pushes them away. Zayats is still alive, gets the stick out, and now backups in. The Ice Blast is flying over, will not clip onto Zayats. Zayats will live. Shashlo was full, as well as FNG. Excess Ramper is able to pick up solo, but is Gambit trying to make a play, and it does not end up in a good trade at all for them, especially with Kuman heading over and helping no one clean up a double kill. A 3-for-1 trade in favor of VP off the back of a Gambit smoke. Gambit, they are struggling to slow VP down once again.
Yeah, before we break that fight down, let's just speak about Kuman and this guy. He's playing an anti-mage. How many players do you see join a fight this early on with an AM? And for a good cause, he gives his SF another kill. They clean the Rubik up as well. Very well played by him.
Yeah.
But that whole team fight, I was saying they need to do these moves, they need to start rotating, but at one point it becomes telegraphed because it's too slow. And you see these two supports, they're missing on the lanes, you know it's a 10-minute mark, you know AA got his 6 because of that, and he's just set up Zayat near that SF. He doesn't have to be that close. As long as he can break the fight with Fissure, that's exactly what he did.
Yeah.
He saves SF, saves himself as well, and it was easy.
Ice Blast is thrown out. FM, I mean, neither of them able to connect, neither FN or FNG onto Zayat. He'll just TP out of there. Not even a scratch on him. As he leaves the area. Gambit, they brought 4 heroes down. They've got to find something. They will find a tier 1 tower, but it still, it just feels slow. And every minute that this game goes on, VP's lead just continues to grow greater.
They're one step ahead. Look, You know, Solo understands that this tower is about to fall. That's why he plans that ward. He has another one next to the shrine, and he will have that deeper jungle, Radiant jungle secured for whoever wants to be there. Most likely, it will be Solo, because the rest of them can split push. Anti-Mage farming the jungle, Beastmaster with the Necros, and SF just pushing harder than the whole team of
taking tier 2 towers here at 13 minutes. VP, they're just sort of masters of getting away with these heroes that, especially like an anti-mage lineup, in an incredible fashion. I mean, this game, it really was down to the fact that their mid lane and top lane was so solid. Having this pressure being put on by the Beastmaster, Shaker top, they played that dual lane perfectly, Rezo and Zayats, and mid lane. I mean, we knew it as soon as we saw the Void Spirit. SF was going to be picked, and no one was going to have a great opening 10 minutes to the game because of that easy matchup for him to play.
I'm just standing here. Yeah, they have Hawks, yeah, they have these wards, but I'm amazed by the ease of execution from Virtus.pro when it comes to playing this strategy. And these wards are just allowing them to play the map the way they want to. Solo, he's here, but he has 2 bracers, range drop, magic wand. Even if you go on him, even if you get this kill, he's fine with it. You might kill him, but he knew exactly what he was running into. There's so much space created by the side of Virtus.pro.
Yeah, it's, as you say, it's a kill on the Enchantress, but not a kill that feels good. They need way more than a solo kill right now. They've got to find no one, they've got to find Kuman. I mean, all 3 cores are just spiraling out of control, and Gambit seem unable to make any sort of move onto them. No one, Resolution, and Kuman are continuing to have an entirely unhindered game.
FNG is a great captain, but he's maybe not as strong as Solo in this matchup, and he needs to think outside of the box, how to get to this SF, how to get to anti-mage, because just taking control of the Radiant jungle, then rotating to mid-tier 1, it just didn't work out. Okay. Those normal plays, they don't work.
I mean, it feels like for the most part of this game, we've just seen Gambit, the 3 or the 4 of them just trying to run at heroes. It's not working. They're not getting these kills. No one. They've got the Fisher block out. No one's trying to get in a position to knock him back, but Shashto will escape with the Stampede. They'll turn towards Zayats, try for the Shaker instead. He's frozen up by the cold feet and will fall. They'll get the Shaker. Again, it's a support kill. The cores of VP are able to get out of there.
Was that Roar snatched by XS Vampire? I believe he took a good... Yeah, he's got Roar. That's one of the reasons why they fell back so early on, even though Enchantress was coming from the other side. They just understand. Also, one of the raises missed on the Centaur. So... good defense by Gambit, at least.
Maybe they can catch Rezo here. It's been a while since they've been able to take down a core, but now Rezo will be found alone. They will finally manage to take one of these big old cores out of the game as Rezo is isolated and killed off. Now that is one that Gambit can celebrate, but that is certainly not. No one kills off Dream.
On his own.
On his own, the Yules combo, it does it. It blows up the Terrorblade. Of course, Terrorblade very, very weak to magic damage with that low HP. And SF with a Yules, it's going to do that. And that's the worry. You know, Terrorblade is the only hero, really, that's farming decently on Gambit's side, and he's getting solo killed.
Yeah, it's a difficult situation to be in if you're Gambit. Like, you want to be making these aggressive moves, but if you're making these aggressive moves, you can't commit an extra hero to babysit Terrorblade, right? You can't have this Rubik just sitting around him, waiting to lift the SF if he initiates. And because of that, Dream just falls. He farms a little bit out of position, and it's an easy pickoff for no one.
And with that blink, Yules finished at an incredibly quick timing, 16 minutes. You know that no one, he's feeling himself right now. He knows the strength that he has. He is ready to sort of style and dance around Gambit's heroes.
All these big items are coming together for Virtus.pro. You can also see that Shaker is just 200 gold away from his blink. Actually, he just got it with that one fissure and the creep wave committed. Like, he gets the blink dagger.
It's so hard for Gambit to fight into this. They've got to try and look for some sort of weakness of VP. Mid lane, no one without any hesitation jumps in, looks to set up on Vampire. Vampire will be able to use the Stolen Roar to get himself back to safety. So we'll stop no one from being able to execute the combo. Does now mean they don't have that Roar to use aggressively. In the jungle, FN will burst and nuke down Solo. Now he's got to try and run, use the W to get away, but they'll find him. Rezo sets up with the Roar. FN will fall. As VP, they're just starting to run Gambit down. They know how strong they are right now, and they know that Gambit is nowhere near prepared for VP running at them.
Yeah, you really don't want to be running after the Enchantress. Solo is just so defenseless, sproinking about the dire jungle, you know, dying to the Void Spirit, but Void Spirit used both of his ultimate charges for that, and because of that, SF just follows up, there's the roar as well, and FN dies. And he's a much, much bigger kill than the Enchantress, obviously.
And it's this whole game, you know, Kuman, he's chilling. Battle Fury's done, he's farming. They'll look for the setup, see if they can burst no one with the Ice Blast. It's going to bring him down low. It looks to rev up the ult, but they'll kill him. A huge kill finally found by Gambit, as they will take the SF out of the game.
And that's really what they needed. Also another good pickup from XS Vampire. That was a fissure there that helped them out. I think this is a pretty good Rubik game when you think about it. There's a lot of spells, like a Blink from AM is easy to steal and it's super good for you. There's also the fissure, the roar.
See, in the river, Solo, he tries to poker this outside of Invis, but there's backup there for FNG. Solo still alive, actually. They don't quite kill him off. A Fisher's out. Solo is still living. He's backing away. He's going to survive this, and now VP, they could turn on them. They're trapped in as well. The Fishers block them in. Vampire tries to TP out. They've got the damage to kill him off before he gets away. As they'll chase on. FNG is in trouble. Zayats, he's got Fisher back up once more. Shashlo does jump in, goes for the two-man hook stop to try and save them, but the Echo Slam's available. He's only just gone and killed himself as well. FN will slide across to try and get something in return, but he gets nothing. VP, everybody lives. Gambit lose 3. And Solo survives. I mean, they saw it, and you can't blame them, right? Solo reveals himself. They feel that they could just get a quick kill on the Enchantress. At this point, they're not even killing the Eng.
Especially because they had that fissure on Rubik as well. You have the A ulti, you can commit onto her, but they don't use every single spell. Because of that, there is the follow-up from the Shaker. He blocks them out with fissure. He resets the fight once again, and then it's much easier for VP to just chase them down. That stomp into Ice Blast was also pretty good imagined by Gambit, but it didn't work because AA also didn't have enough mana to follow up with anything else, so they didn't even have enough damage to kill off the Shake.
Ice Blast comes in a little late. Roshan's already dead and Kuman's already grabbed the Aegis. They couldn't get there in time, Gambit.
Yep.
16-7, 6k ahead, Aegis in their hands. VP's game just continues to right itself in a very, very nice way.
In one of the previous games, the panel also talked about Terrorblade and why he's weaker against all these illusion heroes that like to buy Diffusal Blade. And even though he is a natural counter to AM in a way that Reflection used to be very strong against him and you could push earlier, it's not the same anymore. And if he gets on top of you, and if you lose all your mana, you won't even be able to use your ulti.
And with Mount Battle Fury done on Kuman, I don't know how you trap this man down. He's going to be able to blink out pretty much every single time if they go on him. And it really just is the fact that it's not just one core that you're worried about. If you're Gambit, it's both the SF and AM that are looking incredibly scary right now.
And no one did itemize in this pick-off kind of a way, right? He has Yules, he has Blink Dagger, so he won't be that super right-clicking crazy SF. It comes later game, but still, he is a big pressure right now. He is a hero that just dominates the map, and you have to hide and run from him.
Deso is done on FN, so now that additional potential with the combo. There's a lot of physical damage there from the Astral Step, but that alongside the Chrysalis. He can do the damage, but to do so, he has to kind of get in on the front lines, and that's when he's in danger of Zayat sort of appearing and chain stunning him down with the combo.
Yeah, the thing is, he went for that insta-crit and Deso, like you just mentioned, but no Yules, no resetting tools, and because of that, if he gets clipped by any disable, he's dead.
You're gonna stampede to try and lean in. Solo's there on the front lines, they'll jump across, they will find resolution. BKB's out on Dream, so he can pot the BKB in the meta, commits for the kill on the Beastmaster, and will find it. The rest of VP, they'll wait it out, kite out Dream's BKB. Solo is running away. FN's going to try and chase. Solo goes for the TP out. He's not going to make it away. FN able to lay down the Remnant in time. Solo pops the Essence Ring. He'll take a bit of a beating, but they'll finally be able to push him over the edge. Vampire takes the kill with the Fade Bolt. Gambit, they'll get 2.
I think they committed that BKB as well as the meta, and because of that, perhaps VP is all right with this. Once the meta is down from Dream, you should expect a comeback attack from Virtus.pro. Zayat, you can see he's already hiding in the woods there.
Yeah, if there was anyone else nearby, you know that he would have loved to jump that. He has that level 2 Echo, and Terrorblade was hovering around the creep wave, but he was entirely on his own at the moment. The rest of VP continue to make space. The map, Kuman's farm. He's getting further and further ahead.
He's getting tankier and tankier. He's not going for Butterfly Basher, nothing like that. He's going for that Manta Battle Fury Skadi. He also has the Pupils gift, so such a good item to get on an Agile hero. They gave the Imp's Claw to Zayats for that crit on the totem on the first
very nice.
Yeah.
Having that guaranteed percentage buff on the already buffed up totem damage, it hurts. Maybe not so much towards the TB because he's got a lot of armor, but any other hero is going to take quite a beating from the Shaker.
Some support, perhaps an AA. If you can get on top of FNG, you can pretty much blow him up as a Shaker.
Not easily. Yeah. With the Imp Claw, no questions asked.
You can see this smoke is well read by Gambit because they're sending these TB illusions around. They're also hiding around that safe space of theirs, this ward. They're scanning the other cliff that's closest to them around that shop. So they know exactly what Virtus.pro is doing. Very well read.
Yeah, just a creep wave away from his BKB. No one. Looking towards Kuman, but the prospects of killing him once and let alone twice aren't great.
Also, you don't know where everyone else is, and because of that, you're like, we can jump him, but we know that they smoked up before. They still aren't showing on the map. It's a difficult choice to go for, a difficult call, very.
Here's the focus. They'll try for the jump. See if they can take him down the once. They're bringing him low. Manta's popped. He tries to blink out, but the Remnant is there to control him. They'll kill off the Aegis. Can they do it again, though? It doesn't look like they feel that they can. They'll back away. They don't want to try and bite off more than they can chew. They'll just accept the Aegis kill. Maybe they can try and get on top of someone else. There's the block off from Zayat. Puts a stop to the chase. And now Solo, you see him just posturing aggressively. Starts to run into the faces of Gambit. Shashlo will attempt the jump forward and going for the hoof stomp, but he's been roared, stunned up. There's the jump from Zayat. He's locking down the Centaur and the Terrorblade. Shashlo will fall. Dream will put the Metamorphosis in an attempt to turn things around, and with his BKB, he's stepping forward. They kill off Solo. They'll head towards Zayat. They'll get the two supports. Double kill for FN.
Two really, really good kills for Gambit. You did commit meta again without taking an objective.
And no one knows, straight in onto FN. Now that they know that they cannot fight on, the BKB's gone on Dream. Kuman blinks out once again to kite him up. There's 4 dead on Gambit. Dream's the last one alive. There's no BKB, no meta left for him to fight back, as it's a team wipe. VP, they are cruising through Gambit this series. Both games, their draft has just been uncontested. They've gotten away with everything. The lane execution's been perfect. And we're seeing, like, again, last game was a 26-minute victory. This one's going to be pushed a little longer, but it feels once again incredibly hard for Gambit to do anything right now with the lead VP have.
Yeah, I think that last teamfight is just representative of the whole game and the matchup of these two teams. Shaker goes in, uses Echo on 2 heroes, on Centaur and Terrorblade, and he baits out the lift, most importantly. The moment that lift and A ulti is used, Kuman instantly pounces on the backlines. He takes down the supports, he helps out with the Terrorblade as well, and the teamfight looks very easy for Virtus.pro, when in fact they executed very well. Orb of Destruction as well for Anti-Mage, pretty good.
All right, yeah, take that on top of the Skadi, you know. That's, yeah, good luck trying to run away from that man when he's on top of you. Going for his Butterfly next. I mean, it's not only just the farm that's incredible for Kuman, it's the experience as an anti-mage, just finding so much solo place to farm. Level 23 at 26 minutes in. Is, you know, but there's no doubt about it. Kuman's carry performances here on VP have been spectacular. And this current VP squad, you know, they made a lot of changes in some questionable ways, but overall it's looking pretty hot for them here on LAN. VP's current lineup, there's definitely some magic about it.
There's a bunch of talking in the CIS scene. They're asking if, on the forums, you can see a lot of people asking if Kuman is going to stay or not. They understand that he's just a stand-in for now.
He's making a great case for himself.
Definitely.
He really is it. Sliding into sort of VP's lineup very, very nicely. The communication, the sort of the way that they approach the game, it seems to fit perfectly with Kuman's play style. The hero picks, he's showing to be incredibly comfortable on them as a carry player. Knows, as sort of Carl mentioned earlier, you would hope, you know, Morph, AM, but he's playing them pretty flawlessly.
He's been around. He's been around for a while now, and people kind of forgotten about him as he's in the CIS in these stacks that aren't really working out that great, aren't really qualifying for anything, but yeah, he was always a really, really good carry player.
On Gambit,
telescope on the Enchantress as well, such a great...
Oh, nice.
It's that and Enchanted Quiver, but that might not save her though.
All right, a quick kill. They are losing a bit of the base though. Tier 3 being pressured here.
Just a little bit of the base. That's that tier 3. Not important, right?
And all on the high ground. No one's there waiting. Fisher's out. Zeiss jumps in. He's locking them down perfectly here with the full combo and the Echo. There is the time for Dream to still get off the BKB. Immediate blink out from no one. Gets himself to safety. Zeiss, he's able to force away. That's the BKB forced out from Dream, and Dream cannot find a kill with it.
What about top?
The base
What's happening?
is still getting
dying,
hit.
maybe?
Tier 3's gone. Kuman gets jumped upon silence, but Amanta removes it and he's out.
Yeah, that whole fight there, Virtus.pro, they did commit a couple of big spells, but so did Gambit, and Gambit lost the tier 3 as well. So overall, you're happy with that. You're playing 4 versus 5, you're taking objectives, and you're forcing their rotations. You could see how impactful that telekinesis is, though. Like when people talk about Rubik, all they say is this laning stage. That Fade Bolt is just crazy. You're hit with that Fade Bolt as a carry, and you just want to cry. You have -1,000,000 damage. But later on in the game, the supremacy, right? Plus telekinesis, you're just stunned forever.
Yeah. You're lifted up and held there for quite some time.
He's got his blink as well, stolen from Anti-Mage, so he's able to just move around the map, doesn't even have to commit for that blink, can buy something different.
Gambit, they're trying to get over onto VP's half of the map once more. They're out hunting. I mean, it feels like so many of these movements have just resulted in sort of solo dying. VP have been very calculated with how they've lost their heroes this game. As there's the jump. Rezo will be found. That's certainly a bigger one. Straight back into the Ice Blast, but Rezo's actually able to turn, get the Raw off, and Rezo, he can walk away from this. They weren't able to commit. VP's been given time to get in. Shashlo gets destroyed by Kuman. As Gambit are just forced to back off once more. No one blinks in. Does get stunned up by the stolen Raw. FM with the BKB is trying to burst no one down, but the opportunity is there for no one to pop the BKB. Kuman, he's just cleaning them up on the backlines. It's a triple kill for him. Jumps over to Dream. It's
GG.
It really is. This series, it was one big GG as VP, they're on another level. Gambit did not stand a chance, or I mean, maybe they didn't give themselves a chance. These drafts, they felt a little off, very rough to play. We saw it in this game too. They went in for this Void Spirit, revealing it. SF comes out. No one knows that he's going to have a free and easy game. And Kuman, he's given a beautiful playing ground to... You know, he did it on the Morph, he does it on the AM, he makes it look easy.
I actually really love this last play from Gambit. This last play was really good, but it should have been done maybe 15 minutes earlier. That's how you play versus Anti-Mage. You have to go to their side, you have to be playing on their side of the map using those metamorphoses aggressively so that you can shrink the map for him. Take some towers, make his farming a living hell, hunt him down. But they were constantly hunted. They were the ones that were hiding on their side. They were the ones that popped that BKB and meta time after time in a defensive matter. And because of that, AM, Kuman, he's just chilling, farming, shows up with 6 slots and just owns them.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it for the qualifiers, and we're seeing it here at LAN here at the WePlay, Tug of War, Map2. The VP, they've now sort of, it feels like they've figured out the patch for themselves. They've found something that works really strong. They've got this lineup of players that they know sort of each of their individual